right, here we go. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying, I'm choosing heaven today. Grace, I'm choosing grace today. I'm choosing grace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying, I'm choosing grace today.
It's time for a little musical interlude and a chance to say hello to your neighbor.
Please take a moment to say hello to your neighbor. Everybody, good morning. All right, here we go. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose compassion today. I choose joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I'm choosing heaven today. Heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. One more time. I am walking the road of heaven right now, sing, I'm choosing heaven today.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Beautiful.
Kelby McNair and Zach, one more time.
Santella.
Santella. Fantastic. Well, welcome everyone to Celebrate. What a great way to start the morning. And I would like to acknowledge where we are right now. Let us come together in gratitude and humility as we gather on the unceded ancestral territories of the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations, whose enduring stewardship of the land, sky, and sea sustains all life that flows through here. We honor their profound reverence for the energies of these sacred spaces. What a blessing, gift, and privilege it is to be able to live, breathe, work, and play and co-create in the shared spirit of harmony, respect, and love upon these sacred lands. May our community uphold this legacy of care and interconnectedness that the Lekwungen peoples have and continue to embody in all that we learn and manifest here. Let us go forth with welcoming everyone. Haishka. Now we have some meditative music, I believe. Would you like to introduce this, Kelby?
I would love to. This is a very beautiful song. It's a new song to me, although I know it's a classic around here before my time. I've really been enjoying it. I hope if you don't know it, that it becomes quickly one of your favorites. It's called There Is Only Love. Can't think of a better song for us here at VTC. We hope you enjoy, and please join in as soon as you're able. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. You got it. Join me, won't you? There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Lots of lovely familiar faces, lots of faces I don't know that are equally lovely, so good morning and thank you for being here. So I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes and we're going to do an opening prayer. So I know that divine love is ever present and is present here and now in this place, in this moment. And as I know that each of us is an expression of that divine love, a living, breathing expression of love, of spirit that lives within each one of us. And as I know that we are each an expression of love, I know that we are also each an expression of the peace that we wish to see radiating through all the world. And I know that each of us has within our power to radiate peace in our small sphere and our greater sphere of our community, within our families, with our friends, with people we have never met that we meet in the grocery store or on the street. Everywhere we go, we can be the beacon of light and a radiator of peace. So as I know this to be true, I invite you to turn within and know that you are a divine being, a spiritual being here on this human journey. And all you need do is to recognize your divinity and be attuned to it. So I invite you to be the spiritual blessing that you are to the world in every moment of this day and every day. I give thanks for the knowledge that Spirit, God, the Divine One, is everywhere present. And knowing this, I release my word to the law, the spiritual law that knows that this is so, and so it is.
And so it is.
And I'm also going to share with you a brief affirmation that comes from this lovely book, which some of you may know, How to Change Your Life by Ernest Holmes. And this is the affirmation. It's in a little chapter called Straighten Out Your Life. And haven't all of us been through times when we wanted to straighten out our lives? God is all power, all presence, and all peace. I now let go of all fear, doubt, and confusion, and turn my thought and attention to the belief that only good is my experience. I have faith enough to believe that God is perfect, and that nothing unlike that perfection could be His desire for creation. Peace and happiness, joy and contentment always walk with me. I am surrounded by divine right action, and it flows through my every experience. I patiently brush aside every doubt or fear that enters my mind and resolutely accept only the wonderful things of the kingdom of God here and now. God is all the power there is, all the presence there is, and all the life there is. And only that which is of the nature of God enters my life. And so it is. And so with that, I now invite Winnie to come back up.
Well, we have a monthly theme ongoing here at the Victoria Truth Center, and that is acceptance. That's our word of the month. And we have an affirmation that Reverend Lassia created for us, which I invite you all to share, to speak with me. If you'd like, you can stand up to do it, and we can read it together. At the doorway of peace lies the threshold of acceptance. Such a beautiful picture. And now you may be seated again. Thank you very much. So I'm wondering if there's anyone here who would like to share a little something about that affirmation that pops into their mind at all. What do you think of when you read that, or even just see it there? Is anyone who'd like to share?
I don't usually have the courage, but this for me is meaningful. I shared with Terry, but I have a very challenging relationship with my daughter who's struggling with addiction and some mental health issues. And she has said very, very hateful things to me. So it's over the last few weeks, it's been really emotional. But in it, I've found the gift of love and compassion for her, and just in accepting that I can love her and I can just accept what it is, and she's working through her healing and her emotions, and I've found peace in that, in just being able to accept that, you know, I can love and hold compassion for her, and I will be there for her, and that's it. And it's brought a lot of peace to just be able to accept that, and you know, and that's it. So there's just some acceptance of what it is, and I pray and hope she chooses healing and has peace in her life as well.
Thank you so much for sharing, Rhea. And really, that takes a lot of courage to share that with us all. And we are all here for you. And you know, it's really interesting that I hear that you're finding peace now for yourself by accepting where she's at and not trying to change it, just letting her have her journey, and she will, and whether she finds healing or not, it's her journey right now, and you're sending lots of compassion and love her way, which is one way to accept where she is and find peace for yourself. Is there anyone else who'd like to share? Wonderful.
There is a particular aspect of acceptance that resonates with me on this World Day of Peace. After 50 years or more of advocating for world peace and concentrating on that, some words came to me just this week, and these are the words. Peace is not transactional. Peace will not be achieved. Peace will be discovered, and it will be. And I've come to accept that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Bill. Yes, let's give a hand to both our people who have shared today. That's wonderful. Thank you. And now it's time for our feature tune from Kelby and Zach.
Wow. Thank you, everyone, for those beautiful shares and perspectives. It's always a mystery to me how the, quote, feature tune is. The idea is that we come up with a song that would somehow speak to the theme. And when the sharing happens, I'm always touched by how magically connected they seem to be, at least in my imagination or experience. So over the past couple weeks, we've had some songs around acceptance, which have focused a little bit on the positivity of acceptance, the process of, just being at peace. But we were struck when Lassia and I were speaking that, and by some of the shares in the last couple of weeks, that sometimes it's not an easy process. Sometimes, yes, you can discover peace, and it's that discovery, that process of discovery is sometimes a challenging one to move through. So this song comes from the great country singer Bonnie Raitt, and it takes on the story of a sad ending of a romantic relationship. But if we treat it as a metaphor, it can be for anything in life that we are faced with, that we're coming to terms with, and that we're releasing and accepting. The song doesn't necessarily take you to a positive ending, although I think there's enough musical elements in it that it moves from somewhere to somewhere. But I'd invite you to enjoy the song, sing along if you know it, and maybe imagine, well, if it can work for you as a metaphor. We hope you enjoy. This is I Can't Make You Love Me. And the story, if you know this song already, is that usually in the recording studios, a pop singer or a country singer would do many, many takes. But she came in and she sang this one take. And she said, okay, should we do it again? And they said, no. we will never find that magic again. So I invite you, if you like it, check it out online, because or however you listen to music, it's a very heartfelt version. I hope you enjoy. Turn down the light, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me, tell me no lies, just hold me close, don't patronize, don't patronize me. I can make you love me if you don't. You can make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart, and I'll feel the power, for you won't. No, you won't, 'cause I can make you love me if you don't. I'll close my eyes, then I won't see the love you don't feel when you're holding me. Morning will come, and I'll do what's right. Just give me till then to give up this fight. And I will give up this fight, 'cause I can make you love me if you don't. You can make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart, and I'll feel its power, but you won't. No, you won't, 'cause I can make you love me if you don't. You can make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart, and I'll feel its power, but you won't. No, you won't. I can't make you love me if you don't. Thank you so much, Zach Santana.
Zach Santella and Kelby McNair. Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful song. Amazing. Now I have the honor of introducing our speaker, who's already spoken a little bit today, and her name is Joanna Drury. Reverend Joanna Drury was ordained in 2010 through the Church of Truth, Canada, and was first licensed as a minister with Centers for Spiritual Living in 2014. She served as associate minister with the Center for Spiritual Living, Victoria, for 10 years until resigning in 2024, which is just last year. She has been a guest speaker at CSL Campbell River, Unity Nanaimo, Unity Victoria, the Center of Love, and here at our very own Victoria Truth Center. She enjoys hosting the monthly Peninsula Spiritual Living Circle at her home and in her beautiful garden. Anyone wishing to attend is welcome. Please welcome Reverend Joanna.
Thank you all. So, my talk title today is, Are We Accepting Spirit's Plan? And in our spiritual practice as New Thought students, we talk about letting go and letting God, which is acceptance. And though it sounds pretty straightforward, I think many of us have had really good plans of our own, and we're not really happy to give them up. But often they hit the ditch. Some of our plans go sideways, many never materialize, and probably everybody here, we are humans, has made plans that didn't work out. Ernest Holmes tells us in the textbook Science of Mind, every day and every hour, we are meeting the eternal realities of life. And in such degree as we cooperate with these eternal realities, in love, in peace, in wisdom, and in joy, believing and receiving, we are automatically blessed. Our prayer is answered before it is uttered. This tells me that being accepting means knowing that God's divine plan for each of our lives unfolds just as it is meant to do. Our toiling and fretting over the details of how to make something work is not required. If we truly believe in divine right action, then that right action is always at work, supporting, guiding, and quietly unfolding in each of our lives. This is where the yubbut comes in. In case you aren't sure what a yubbut is, it is that little creature in your head that says yubbut as its first response to every positive suggestion. Its little negative voice can be calmed and silenced with healthy, positive messages. Yubbut is what we say because our happy egos don't entirely let go of our personal plan. Yubbut wants to pitch in and help direct the action. I don't know about you, but I'm inclined to let my own personal yubbut get in the way of that divine unfolding. That would be my partner, David, who just spoke up. Thank you, David. I'm sure Spirit is in charge, but I can just help things along the way so that everything works out the way I want it to. Does anybody else do this? Maybe I'm the only one who finds it a challenge accepting that divine right action is at the core of all that is happening right here and right now. One of my favorite authors is Richard Wagamese, an Ojibwe native who wrote several beautiful spiritual books. This quote is from the book Embers. "The single hardest lesson I've ever had to learn is that the greater, grander plan is not mine to create or know. If I am in ceremony and prayer for the right reasons, I leave all that up to Creator. When I surrender outcome, all things good and pure and peaceful come to me. My job is to choose what appears. Easy to say, but hard to do. To get out of the way enough to allow the energy to flow." Truly, the single toughest job most of us face is just getting out of our own way. I've been leading a book study this summer on Paul Farini's book, Silence of the Heart. It is one of my favorite books, so it has been wonderful to revisit it with the group as we explore it together. I want to share a passage from this book that relates, I think, to what we have been looking at today, acceptance. I think it offers some guidance on how to navigate the shift in consciousness to acceptance. It's from the chapter titled Opening to Miracles. To learn to trust, you must experiment being neutral about what happens in your life. You don't have to see things in a positive light. Just stop seeing them in a negative light. Stop imposing your expectations on the events and circumstances of your life. Just let life unfold and see what happens. God doesn't ask you to convert yourself. She doesn't ask you to chop off your intellect and believe on faith. She makes a far simpler request. Just stop judging. Stop finding fault. Stop imposing your expectations, your will, your interpretation, your pictures of reality, and see what happens. She says a very simple thing to you. She says, you think you know what's going on, but you are not happy. Your knowledge, your judgments, your interpretations are not bringing you peace and fulfillment. So set them aside for a few moments. Give life a chance. Experience it free of the limitations you place upon it. When you do this, you get incredible results. Things go smoother. Problems resolve. Relationships move on course. Your life starts to work. All because you gave up the idea that you know what your life is for. You can't know God's plan as long as you insist on your own. God can't be in charge as long as you think you are the boss. I'm going to read that again. It's one of my favorite quotes. You can't know God's plan as long as you insist on your own. God can't be in charge as long as you think you are the boss. What is God's agenda? It is healing, reconciliation, joyful self-expression, and intimate communion. God's agenda is to make miracles everywhere. Wherever your ego sees a problem or a limit, God's will is to birth a miracle. I think each of us is open to the miracles in our lives when we follow that advice. Each of us is an expression of the Divine One Power, and as such, we have only to trust and know that divine right action is unfolding in our lives at every moment. Our work is to trust and to know that this is so. Those of you who've heard me speak before know I always put a joke in my talks. I always explain why. First of all, a talk that's serious can lull people into a sleepy state. People always wake up for the joke. More important, if you want to improve your health and your life, laugh more. People have been healed from illness just by laughing. So here's today's joke. And this is for Barbara, if she's listening. She sent me this joke and asked me to put it in a talk, so I'm giving it to her because she can't be with us today. An old Doberman starts to chase a rabbit, and before long, the Doberman is completely lost. Suddenly, he notices a young lion heading in his direction. The Doberman thinks to himself, oh no, I'm in real trouble now. He sees some old bones on the ground and immediately sits down with his back to the lion and begins to chew the bones. As the lion is about to pounce on him, the Doberman exclaims loudly, "Boy, that was one delicious lion. I wonder if there are more lions around here." The young lion halts his attack in mid-stride and slinks away into the trees. "Whoo," says the lion, "that was close. That old Doberman nearly got me." Meanwhile, a squirrel watching the action decides he can put his knowledge to use. The squirrel catches up to the lion and tells him what has just happened. The young lion is furious at having been tricked, and he says, "Here, squirrel, hop on my back and see what's going to happen to that conniving old Doberman." Now, the old Doberman sees the lion coming the second time, now with the squirrel on his back. Instead of running, he sits down with his back to the intruders, pretending he hasn't seen them. When they're close enough to hear, the old Doberman says in a loud voice, "Where's that squirrel? I sent him off an hour ago to bring me another lion." Here's another little joke. The moral of that story, I think, is don't mess with wily old dogs. Here's another little joke. John was explaining to his neighbor Jake about the advice he and his wife had received from a counselor. "The counselor told us to embrace our mistakes, and my wife leaned over and kissed me." So there we are. Very cute. So now everybody's awake. We're going to go back to the serious stuff. Oftentimes we don't credit ourselves with the gifts that we have to share personally. I've heard people say, "I would love to be of greater service, but what can I do?" You know that every kind word, every kind act, every kind thought is an expression of you that can potentially change someone's life for the better. The story of an older woman who lived alone and suffered from severe depression. She rarely left her home except to go to church. Her psychiatrist asked her how she spent her time, and she told him that she loved to propagate her large collection of African violets. He encouraged her to share her plants with those in need. When someone from the church died or was sick, she could send a plant to their family. She began to do this. She would quietly bring beautiful plants with handwritten notes to those in her church community who were in need. She filled many lives with her love. We're never too old to make a difference or too young to make a difference. Think of all the wonderful stories of children inspired to help others by opening lemonade stands and donating money for many worthy causes in their communities. Acceptance sometimes means taking on work that we may wonder if we are going to be able to do. It means accepting challenges and opportunities that are presented instead of saying, "No, I couldn't possibly." It means truly trusting in that divine plan that opens doors for each of us and having the courage to walk through them with a heartfelt yes and overwhelming gratitude. Some of you may have heard of Brother Lawrence, who was a 17th century Carmelite monk who became famous, but he made a practice of finding God's presence in the smallest and most menial tasks. He performed small jobs in the monastery for decades. He cooked, he repaired sandals, he did vegetable prep in the kitchen, and he kept God in his thoughts at all times. Each small action took on great value for him, and in this practice he became a channel for the divine. People sought him out for his deep wisdom because he exuded such an abiding peace. You can be an instrument of love and peace in every moment of every day. Sometimes it takes the shock of realization to shift someone into taking positive action. 119 years ago, a wealthy inventor read his own obituary, mistakenly published years before his death. Wrongly believing that a famous inventor had just died, a newspaper printed a harsh judgment of his life's work, unfairly labeling him the merchant of death because of his invention, dynamite. Shaken by this public condemnation, the inventor made a fateful choice to serve the cause of peace. 7 years later, Alfred Nobel created the Peace Prize and the other prizes that bear his name. This is important to remember on this International Day of Peace. And Winnie is going to lead us in a moment of silence at noon today, as all around the world, noon wherever we are in the world, we are going to hold a moment of prayer in peace. Today, I imagine all of us have a daily practice of prayer that has included peace in our prayers. It is the desire of the vast majority of all those who live on this beautiful blue planet to be able to live in peace, to be able to have harmonious relations with our families, our friends, and our communities. But peace can only begin with each one of us agreeing to live in peace. We are the demonstration of peace manifesting in the world. When we are able to resolve our differences with family members, challenging neighbors, I must tell you, I have a neighbor who really dislikes the red roses blooming on our shared fence. Hard to understand, I still hug her. Or our differences within our communities. No one said this is easy. Look around. Today, many people are protesting over densification of housing, as there are many people crying out for more housing. One person's urgent need is perceived as someone else's incursion on their property rights. Disputes, conflict, anger, and even hatred have become part of the daily public dialogue. Does this not bring us back to the word acceptance? Maybe our job is to open our hearts a few inches more to see the point of view of someone we disagree with. Maybe we just learn to listen to one another without prejudice or insisting on our opinions being respected. Maybe we just learn to live in peace in the microcosm of our own worlds, and that energy of our own kindness and openness can ripple out into the outer world. Ernest Holmes reminds us that the words acceptance and realization are filled with the greatest meaning for anyone who wishes to consciously use the creative power of thought for a definite purpose. When we pray, we are to believe that we already have received that for which we pray. He reminds us that this mental acceptance is to be filled with conviction. He reminds us that we do not hope, we accept. We believe that it has already happened. Let us pray peace into this very moment, this very day. Let us accept peace as our reality, our living reality, right here, right now, today. Know that your creative mind is the author of all that appears in your world. And use that power to manifest an ever greater good, not just in your personal realm, but in the wide, receptive universe. Let us daily accept peace as our foundation for living. I want to close with a treatment by Ernest Holmes, another from this lovely book, How to Change Your Life. This is the treatment. It's an affirmation. Today, I practice non-resistance, disregarding everything that seems to contradict the reality in which I believe. I reaffirm that reality is operating in my life. Turning resolutely from everything that denies the good I wish to experience, I affirm the good. In the midst of fear, I proclaim faith. At the center of uncertainty, I proclaim security. In the midst of want, I proclaim abundance. Where unhappiness seems to exist, I announce joy. There is no situation or condition that resists these transcendent thoughts, for they proclaim the omnipotence of God and the divine guidance of the mind that can accomplish all things. And so it is. Namaste. So thank you for being the blessings that you are. And thank you for your contributions to this center, for enabling it to grow and thrive and be a center of light, a center of love, and a center of peace here in this community. Thank you all. So let us just close our eyes and be fully present in this moment, knowing that peace unfolds in our lives, in our worlds, in our thoughts and in our actions, in all our relationships, in everything that we do, every minute of every day. What a wonderful world we can collectively create by doing that. So as we know that the divine plan is one of accepting, of letting go and letting God do the work, let us begin in this very moment to let go and let God be the guidepost, be the enabler of each of our lives, knowing that the Divine Spirit is ever present in each of us, giving us insight, giving us wisdom, giving us life itself. Let us be grateful for Spirit within us. Let us know that truth is ever present, ever unfolding, and that we will have peace in our time. Thank you, God. And so it is.
We are going to jump in with a closing song from Kelby. Oh, before we do, though, I'd like to throw out a big thank you to so many people here today, including Mariana. Mariana, thank you so much for all the slides that you put on. And Glenn and Elijah, who have been running the tech, which has been terrific, I'm sure. And our beautiful musical team of Kelby and Zach. Yay. Santella, I believe. Did I get it right? And Kelby McNair. And also our greeter today. We had, we had a jump-in greeter, Bill. Bill greeted, didn't you? And Kathy too. Kathy is around and she might have... Oh, there you are. Hi, Kathy. Kathy, thank you. And also to all the newcomers, thank you all for coming to check us out today. We're going to have to get some more chairs. That's great. We always like that. I'm going to leave you with a joke because I love that. You prompted me to say, would anyone like to hear the joke about the Victoria Truth Center ceiling? Has anyone heard that joke? Do you want to hear it? Yes. I'm not going to tell you. It's over your head. All is well, everybody.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Winnie. Okay, this is a beautiful tune. This is, I believe, Kathy, are you from Detroit? I think so. Are you from Detroit? There we go. Okay, this is for you. This is Eddie Watkins Jr., also from Detroit. All is well. We'll do a little intro, and then please come on, stand on up if you feel so inspired. Let your hands do what they want to do, your feet do what they want to do, and join us with some singing. Here we go. 1, 2, 1. All right, here we go. I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am loved and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? All is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now, right now. All is well, all is well, all is well. should.
Let's all have a little hi to your neighbor. Bless your neighbor.
All right, you got one more. All right, here we go. One at a time. I am clothed in the Spirit. I am fed by the divine. I am one with all that is. Hold on, Mike. All right, hang on. Okay, don't worry, everybody. Here we go. Let's go back one slide if we could.
All is well.
All right, back one slide. Do we have that ability? Just hang there.
Blessed
Zach.
and so
Hello there,
are
buddy.
you.
Hello there. Can we go back one
Feel
slide, please? Can you ask? Go back one slide? Back one. Back one. Okay, here we go to the top. Top, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I am cloaked in the Spirit. I am fed by the divine. I am filled with all that is. My soul is free from time. I am low and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well? We'll tag that. All is well. Here we go. All is well and unfolding as it should.